Hello, our esteemed viewers. We bring you the CBI Community Monthly Updates for the month of April. I am Juliet Omer, reporting from Nigeria. You can visit our social media handle displayed on your screen. Recall that the acclaimed victory of the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate in the recently held presidential election is currently being challenged in court by rival parties, the People's Democratic Party and Labour Party. Yet the federal government and INEC continue preparations for handing over to the INEC pronounced winner of the controversial election. As of today, the federal government has set up transition committee and other handing over arrangements are in progress. Joining us in the studio is an analyst, Christian Michael Chukwu, to analyze and address some of the concerns people are raising regarding the whole episode. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much for having me, and welcome our viewers.
All right. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me just make a correction on my name. My name is Chukwu Michael Chukwu.
Okay, Chukwu Michael Chukwu.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for having me.
All right. The election has come and gone, and there's so many tension in the air, and we are expecting that the federal government and INEC there will be a president come May 29. So how does this arrangement by INEC and federal government to proceed in spite of these challenges surrounding the election? How has it affected our democratic practices?
Well, okay, nature abhors vacuum.
Okay.
And we can't totally say that we will not have a president come May 29, because by May 29, the incumbent president, Muhammadu Buhari, will be leaving office. And certainly, the country cannot be without a driver.
Of course.
For that reason, somebody must take over. Somebody must take over. Even in a situation where there is, for instance, when Yaradua died, and we are looking at what we do, because it was not factored in our constitution.
Okay.
We never envisaged that in a situation there is a such thing occurred, what will the country do? But I think we adopted the doctrine of necessity to ensure there was no vacuum, because you cannot leave the country without the president who will be in charge.
Of course.
So May 29th for me is a day that the president will leave the office and new government will come in. Yes, the reality on ground is that Nigerians are not happy. They're not happy because a president was elected, but Nigerians are not happy because the process was violated. Okay. The concern of Nigerians is the process. Because if the process has actually been followed and the new president in mind, nobody will be arguing that. But INEC violated their guideline and also violated all the promises. I was privileged to be one of those that was invited at the Peace Accord signing at National Conference Center. Because of I have been volunteering for National Peace Committee. So I was invited, and I was comfortably sitting behind all the presidential candidates, 18 of them. I heard the INEC chairman, he made a statement. He said the allegiance of INEC is for the Nigerians. So he openly said it. But what transpired has been promising. In fact, let me even shock you. I'm one of those who have actually stood for INEC on a different media platform. Whenever they invite me, I speak on their behalf because I have been privileged to interact with many of them, that the INEC staff. And they assured me and many other people who are analysts and media people that the election, 2023 election, would be free and fair. Okay. And they have strategized to ensure that no manipulation occurred. But Nigerians were totally disappointed when they saw the outcome. And that is why you can see it openly that the president-elect was not celebrated. But that's the first in history in Nigeria that a president was declared and there was no celebration. Everywhere was like, we are all mourning. Okay. So meaning that Nigerians are not happy for the new president.
Of course. And even going through the beavers, the malfunctioning and the rest. So now, so many Nigerians are clamoring for interim government to be set in place. So how do you think this interim government would resolve the tension in the air?
Okay, the interim government is not factored in our constitution, because I think the last time it happened was 1993. And this is just like another after another 30 years. Such is about coming up again.
Yeah.
So such thing happened 1992, and you should know it was during the military era. It was during the military. That was during the IBB, Ibrahim Badamisu Babangida.
Yeah.
So after the election of 1993, that was contested between Tofa and the late Abiola.
Yeah.
So I think, yes. So Abiola emerged because the option A4 was used. But you know, the military then and some other persons who might be surrounding military were not happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know who could be the reason, because all of us, we are still young then.
Yeah, of
We might
course,
not,
of
yeah.
course.
So we did not witness
But
it.
we went through history,
Yeah,
and
we
history
went through
told us
history,
this
yes,
is what
this
happened.
is what happened.
Okay, now the Labour Party candidate filed a 5-prayer point in the court regarding the challenges surrounding the just concluded presidential election. So how would you see that? Is he taking the right move to is he reclaim his mandate?
Yes, you know, when even the APC as a party, they openly said it that if you are grieved, go to court.
Okay.
And we believe that court should be the last hope of a common man. And many countries, court has helped to put their nation in order.
All right.
So going to court, I think, is the best option instead of taking to the street. Because taking to the street actually wouldn't have paid us good at all. Life would have lost, property would have been lost, and millions of things, property would have been lost. But choosing to go to court is a step in the right direction. And he has presented his facts, and he has presented all his arguments. That is the right step to take. Why the court process is ongoing? Because I think by next month, 11th or 12th of May, the hearing proper will start. Because they are still on a pre-hearing stages now.
Okay.
So all the pre-hearing processes are taking place. By May, the fireworks will begin in the judiciary.
Okay.
So these are some of the issues that will come up in the course of this court, in the course of fireworks in the court.
All right. It's still on politics. We just concluded Adamawa State gubernatorial elections. Was faced with same challenges where the People's Democratic Party candidate Ahmed Fintiri was declared winner after the supplementary election. So the rival, the close rival, which is Aisha Dahiru, known as Binani.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know she won't be feeling good about the outcome of the whole thing. And now her supporters are saying that this is a gender injustice, injustice against women when you come to equity representation. How would you say this is justifiable?
Anyway, everyone has an entitlement to his or her opinion, but that does make it right? No. Now, let us look at the factors surrounding the election. First and foremost, the election, when it was held in March, it was inconclusive.
Yeah.
INEC fixed a fresh date for the election, and the election was held. Now, while the collation was ongoing, the REC, the Resident Electoral Commissioner, now declared Binani a winner of the election. Now, the question is the one that declared him a winner, that is the REC, was he mandated by the Constitution to do so?
Okay.
No. I think it's a treason for him to have done that. So if those that are saying it's injustice, for me, I do not see it as an injustice. One, she was never declared a winner by the right person.
Okay.
Two, they have never come up with any accusation, allegation of intimidation of voters. So for you to say it's an injustice, no, I totally disagree with that. And whatever thing you think that's an injustice, the APC has given us a slogan, go to court. And I think the best option to do is go to court.
Whatever thing you do these
Yes,
days, you go to court.
Yes,
Court
is
your
the arbiter. So
Okay.
let them decide on the election.
Who lets the court exonerate the person.
Correct.
All right. Okay, now we're still on the same issue. We had the president of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, apologizing to Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole. So how do the citizens conceive or receive this apology?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. How happy will you be that your father your school fees is not paid, but you see your father paying another children's school fees.
I won't be happy.
Will you be happy? Will you forgive that your father?
I don't know, but
Even when you are crying,
because my dream is being cut short.
Correct.
Yes, unless to err is human, to forgive is divine, and unless in time he had a change of mind to say, okay, I will pay your school fees. I'll make you further your education and get to the level you want.
And he does that,
and
right?
he did it. So I'll forgive him because he's only human.
Okay.
But
if the correction is
but
taken.
if he says it and he stands by it and he didn't do anything, because as I grow older, I still remember that past and his statement and he stood by it. I wouldn't be happy with him because he made my dream
Very correct.
Sure.
Now, look, I'm very happy the way you have answered, and you have answered wisely. Okay. Although you are a journalist, you people know how to manipulate, how to maneuver words.
Okay.
Now, looking at what the president is apologizing to Nigerians to forgive him, I don't know where we'll start to forgive him. I am his son, just likewise you are his daughter.
Of course.
Now, you Nigeria now, we do not have a good roads that connect different states of Nigeria. We do not have railway. Now, just imagine that from Kano, a railway is constructed to maybe Abia State, and you connect it to Lagos, all those business hub centers. You connect it to nature. Can you imagine the kind of business boom that it will give to our country?
Correct. Now,
what now will justify the president constructing a railway gauge from Katsina to Niger Republic? The same thing, road. Now, these are the things the president, and while he was doing it, Nigerians were shouting, say, what is the economic value of this? This will not bring economic value. What is actually coming from Niger Republic that will bring succor to Nigeria? But president never listened to them. Okay. Now, where do we start from? And at the end of the day, he finished. And look at the statement that came after he apologized. He said, if they disturb him in Nigeria, he will travel to Niger. So he will travel to Niger. That means he intentionally did that.
So now, some kilometers away.
Yeah, so some kilometers away. I say, he only told us that, okay, now, when you talk about this forgiveness comes when there is a contract heart. That there is a repentant and you make a move to correct. As Helen said, you make a move to correct what you have done wrong. That is only when forgiveness comes. God don't just forgive you because you say, God, forgive me. You are still in it and you are doing it and there's no remorse. I ask him for forgiveness. Where do we start? So how would Nigeria forgive him? Now, we can leave him and God to forgive him. But for Nigerians, I am not sure that Nigeria will forgive him. How do we forgive him? When Nigerians, you remember in Benue State, how many human beings were slaughtered one night? Yeah. By the accused, they say herdsmen, farmers, headers clash. So many things have been happening in Nigeria. The issue of kidnapping increased astronomically during his term, and nothing was done. A lot of things. Would we forgive him that he made rice at the cost of a bag of rice at 7,500 naira, and it's now about 35 to 40,000 naira? Okay,
still on that, what a netizen said in his statement, he said, release Nnamdi Kanu if your apology is genuine. That's IPOB lawyer tells Buhari. We have this statement and other statement of citizens responding to his apology to Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole. So I don't know, this the lawyer of IPOB is speaking from what he felt. So what about other aspects of the country, other aspects of democratic rule that has gone wrong in his administration? So what do you think?
That is why I say I don't know where Nigeria will start to forgive him. Is it disobedient to court order? That has then I'm the Kanu issue you raised. You know that appeal court discharged and acquitted him. Okay. The president refused to release him. Now, 2 days ago, he appeared in the court. Not only that he appeared, they said they're amending charges. They are coming with a new, about 9, or just either 7 or 9 charges against him, fresh one again, in the Supreme Court. Now, the president over time has never obeyed the court order. Okay. Court ruling, when the issue of currency saga came on board, cashless policy. Now, Nigeria continued to cry. Please listen to it. Took the intervention of Nigeria Labour Congress.
Yes, redesigning the Naira.
It's because of the Nigeria Labour Congress. wanted to go on strike. That is when they responded to the release of old currencies. Now, look at it. If you look at generally the conduct of president, who is the eyes of the world. You know, because when president travel out, they say Nigeria has come.
Yeah.
In a literature, that's what we call synecdoche. Yeah. Synecdoche means using the part to represent the whole. Now, president, when you look at the Nigeria president, a president of any country, the president of any country is the country.
Yes.
So if you want to measure the quality and the content of any country, look at their leaders.
Okay, still on that, the apology and looking at the insecurity problems in Nigeria, we have a sporadic shooting of policemen and a canteen owner in Imo State, which left 5 persons dead. So, and still on insecurity, we also have a 25-year-old lady identified as Mira Beladi Agada Ibrahim, who was brutally murdered by assailant in Abuja. So this is also insecurity in the country. And now with all these things happening, how are Nigerians taking the issues? How is the president trying to curb insecurity, even if it's the last thing he does before leaving office?
No, he will not curb it because he has never kept to any of his promises. He said he will make $1, $1 naira to $1. Okay. He couldn't do that. I only recall that 1 naira was between 1972 to 1982. Now, dollar was $1 to 55 kobo. By 1983, it jumped to 6 naira. Okay. You understand? So that was the only and the last time Nigeria was naira was stronger than dollar. From that time to now, naira continued to fall. President, why coming in? He told us he would do that. Some of his those that surrounded him told us that under 6 months they will make power stable in Nigeria. Okay. They made all promises, but none of it, even 20% of any of those promises was fulfilled by the president. So are you expecting president at this
how are we going to curb this? Because when they come on board, they will tell us so many things that they had to achieve. So don't you think that there should be in their campaign, they should stop promising us what they cannot do? But is it part of the political strategies to gain office? You
know, one thing you should understand about politics, particularly in Nigeria, is that we don't know when to stop politics and start governing. So you play, for me, I define politics. People may have their own definition of politics, but I personally define politics as a competition of ideas and policies to know the one that is preferable for the electorate to choose. But here they continue to sing the same song that started since 1960s. Okay. I will give you road, I will water you, I will road you, I will do this.
We'll still talk on that. Well, we'll be going on a short break now. All right, viewers, we'll be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll bring you more updates. Stay connected.
Life in diaspora. The good, the bad, and the ugly of living outside your home country. Are you in the diaspora or contemplating to join the diaspora? Join us live on CBI, Facebook, and YouTube every last Sunday of the month by 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Let us discuss the challenges, barriers, and obstacles of diaspora experience and the prospects, benefits, and opportunities within your diaspora space. To contribute, dial 425-666-4560. That is 425-666-4560. Life in Diaspora, an online platform for diaspora discussion.
Welcome back, viewers. I hope you enjoyed our conversation so far. Welcome back, my guests.
Thank you very
CMC.
much. Thank you for having me back.
All right, still on updates. Sudan foreigners flee as fight continues with the recent violence that broke out in Sudan between the military units loyal to General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the paramilitary rapid supports headed by General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo. The minister, Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Godfrey Onyema, stated that Nigeria is at advanced stage to evacuate citizens from Sudan and receive them in Egypt. According to the minister, in an interview with Channels Television on Sunday, 23rd April, he gave this assurance. Onyema, who said that Nigerian victims may be transported from Sudan to road into Egypt. Hence, he also revealed that the Nigerian embassy in Cairo Egypt is making arrangements to receive them. The minister also said lifting the stranded citizens at the moment from Sudan is ruled out because of the large contingent of 5,500, insisting that some of the countries who started lifting have a far smaller citizen as low as 100. He further assured Nigerians of their safety in any country they domicile, stating that the Nigerian government has a robust plan to protect its citizens in whatever country they are residing. Thank you. And you heard that from the
Clearly.
Minister of Foreign Affairs. And the question is, why would Nigerians leave Nigeria to settle in a war zone? Is it part of going for greener pastures or what?
I think you have answered it. You have answered it. I don't know whether you are familiar with this trending word, Japa.
Okay, Japa.
Japa.
Yes.
In quotes. So, Nigerians want to Japa. Many Nigerians is it from doctors, lawyers, all sort of professionals are leaving Nigerian rooms. Why? Because the country is not conducive for business. How many companies are coming to invest in the country for employment? And we'll have over 200 million Nigerians. And about 135, according to the last report.
Okay, but let's analyze it this way. Looking at this, Sudan as a country, their economy and every resources they have. Let's compare it to Nigeria. What would make a Nigerian living in Nigeria with liberty to move around and access resources move to Sudan? Is there any, is it that Sudan has high economic growth or high resources that can be harnessed when compared to Nigeria?
There are some in that Sudan that are students that are schooling there.
Okay.
And there are also some Nigerians that are living there doing their business. Now, when we talk about it's better economy, we can actually say that of their place. I have not lived there to actually evaluate their economic progress. But the truth is this: everyone is looking for where to survive. There are also some Americans that are here, on the ground that are being employed by their company in Nigeria here.
Okay, especially those working with the embassy.
The embassy and the rest. So there are some Nigerians also that are working in Nigerian embassy in Sudan. And there are many students, over 5,000 Nigerian students are schooling in Sudan. Now, if we have educational institution that's stable and the way educational system is working, many people will be coming here to study. But we go there because they have a more stable educational system than Nigeria. Where you will go 4 years, you'll be sure that in 4 years' time you'll graduate. But in Nigeria, when you enroll into university, you may be expecting 7 to 8 years to graduate.
10 years.
Or 10 years to graduate. So tell me why we not go there. Now, let me add something to what you just said. You know, when the Geoffrey Onyema was speaking, he said about $1.2 million had been marked out for the evacuation of Nigerians from Sudan to the Ethiopia border. Now, and I think he added that about 40 buses have been hired to do that, but they only had 15 available as at 2 days ago. That was on Wednesday. So as at 3 days ago on Wednesday. Now, I tried to calculate. I went to UBA, United Bank of Africa, for dollar exchange. I found out as at Wednesday, dollar was 619 naira. Now, I tried to multiply 619 naira by 1.2 million. It was giving me $1.2 million. It was giving me about 442,800,000 naira. Just to evacuation, not bringing them to Nigeria, just to take them to the border.
You know, evacuating, there's a video clip that came up that in the process of evacuating them, they were stuck at a place. And the citizen who made that video was lamenting that they are being stuck, there is no water, there's no food, there's no... So it was a controversial experience anyways,
and this
because they assured us they are going to move them to a safer place. That's move them to Egypt, where the Nigerian embassy in Egypt in Cairo will receive them. So what's then happened in the process is
that is why some of us who are conversant with the issue are asking questions. What do you use 742,800,000 for the evacuation. And if you say logistics and the bus hiring, that means each bus is taking about 80,570,000. If you divide for 742,800,000 by 40, it will give you 18,570,000 per bus.
Okay.
Per bus.
All right.
Per bus. Just to evacuate them to Egypt.
All right.
Remember before then, Nigerians wanted to find a safer place in Ethiopia. Ethiopians, we are sending them back. But they were allowing other citizens from other countries.
Oh.
Look at the kind of image. And the image comes as a result of the kind of leaders we have. Now, even at this situation, some people are still using it for a business because there's no justification.
You just talked about business. Business now, we had that's with Mr. Allen Onyema, the EPIS, CEO EPIS, offering to lift these citizens if they can move them to a safer place. And we have an applause to his business where he has a flight that can fly from Nigeria, from Abuja, Lagos to Egypt, a direct flight from Lagos and Abuja to Egypt. That's a bilateral, that will increase a bilateral trade relation and is a plus to the CEO of EPIS, Nigeria, and Nigeria as a whole. And I think he's making headway, and the Nigerian government needs to make a policy that will encourage these private individuals to grow their business.
You know, you asked me earlier, why are our people are living in drones? Imagine a country like Egypt. And I answer you very simple, where you do your business comfortably in a conducive environment. Now, Nigeria is so hard for business to survive, even both the small business and big ones. Government policies can crumble a business at any point in time. Now, you know this APC you are talking about, that is Onyema. Remember that when there was a xenophobia in South Africa, he also offered such services free of charge.
Yes.
For me, I have been contemplating what could be the reason why government has not given approval for him to lift Nigerians that are in Sudan. I have been asking this question, why? Why is it taking time? So you prefer to load them on the bus to Egypt than for this man who have such kind heart to do what? To give them a lift down back to Nigeria. Yeah. So what does it take? I don't know. I am not into foreign affairs, but I know that it won't take moving from here to Jupiter to reconcile this and give them the opportunity to offer that free
regarding
service.
Human life.
Yeah, regarding human life.
Let's digress a little to entertainment and sports. In the month of April, we saw where the PSG footballer Hakimi's wife filed for a divorce, and now there's controversial statements and controversies in the air, especially in social media, about the supremacy of mother to wife in the life of a man. So I know you're not a marriage counselor, but what do you what do you have to say about that? Because we are all entitled to our opinion, and we have a lot to say about the issue.
You know, well, one of the greatest gifts God has given to man is a gift of choice. Now, and when you look at wife and mother, there are two sensitive individuals in the life of a man. Every man doesn't play with his mother, and every man cares for his wife.
Sorry to say, this is the main point. He had to will everything he has in the mother's name, and without giving the wife a fair divorce. I think the woman was expecting more, that he had to have some, is it all or some percentage of his wealth?
You know, one funny thing is this issue of divorce. Maybe the man was I can say that he's a very smart man. Why? Let me tell you why I say he's a smart man. Now, probably he envisaged that such could happen in the future, and he decided to will everything to his mother. Now, I always want, particularly when issue like this comes up, for us to go beyond the surface. So, what actually was the reason for the divorce? What actually was the reason? You know, in Africa, we don't entertain divorce. In fact, if you are a woman and you divorce, you appear to be like an outcast, because people will see you, oh, you have a mark. There is something wrong with you.
But there's an emancipation coming on because of domestic violence and other violence going on between marriages.
Yeah, no, which I never support that. Yeah, yes. Just like, thank you very much. You mentioned losing losing life. For instance, this Usinachi that died. as of the complications resulting from regular beating by her husband. She lost her life. By now, that woman shouldn't have been alive, touching life through her songs. So I do not support. That's why I say we should be able to look at basically the things that actually lead into this divorce. But for me, instead of you to be in a marriage and they lose your life, you rather do what? Lose the marriage and be alive.
No. Okay.
Yes. Even though that Christianity may not support that because it's not part of
But
Christianity.
there's a ground that the Bible said, if I'm not correct, that you can file for a divorce on the ground of infidelity.
Very correct.
And
Very
don't you think that infidelity is the major thing why people are filing for divorce?
Yes, the scripture.
And sometimes I won't say they made it up that my husband cheated on me, that's why I'm filing for divorce, or my wife cheated on me, that's why I'm filing for divorce.
Yeah.
So they can make up issues and file for divorce in order to be free.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that is why I say let's look at the basis. The basis are the factors that actually lead to this divorce. And that is where we'll be looking at. But for mother or wife who is superior or whom the man should place more consign on, I would say that both of them are very, very important in the life of a man, because I will never play joke with my mother,
Of course.
and I will never joke with my wife. So the two of them are very
For me,
important.
in my own opinion, we should just be on a moderate ground. You should draw a thin line between you give your mom, because you cannot have another mother, the right that is due to her, and give the wife, the mother of your children, the right that is due to her.
Yeah.
And you know, there are some comments on social media, on TikTok, people making comments that before you get married to a woman, you should know the financial, the character you display when it comes to finance, when it comes to my money, her money, and your money. How does she react? Is she that person that is so selfish that this is my own? We are not meant to spend it.
Your own is our own.
Yes, and my own is my own. So people are just making so statement on the ground. And some persons say, if you're going to marry if you want to marry a man, ask him if he has willed his wealth to the mother. If he has willed his wealth to the But judging from this, we should always know that this is Africa, this is Nigeria. We have traditions. And we should not relate it to what is happening over there, because they have their own
culture,
laid down laws and culture. So now let's still look at religion. We have we saw 39 dead bodies being dug up in a church owned by a pastor called Mackenzie in Kenya. So the reason was that the followers was being asked to fast to death. So what do you say about fasting and prayer and all of it all? Would fasting ever lead someone to death, or there is an ulterior motive behind it?
You know, sometimes if I look Africa, I get worried about how we are being manipulated using religion. And unfortunately, religion never saves any society. Religion causes more crisis. Please, don't get me wrong. Okay. Religion is different from spirituality or godliness. They are not the same. Okay. Religions deal with using rules, using laws to tell you do this, do this art, do this, you get this result. That's religion. But godliness talk about you trying to live a life of purity that will make you to be in good time with man and God. Okay. That is spirituality. But you look at Africa today, religion has taken a center stage. Virtually every problem we are facing in Africa is as a you come to Nigeria, they use religions to manipulate the people. And that is why, if you look at even our voting pattern in Nigeria, it go alongside religion and ethnicity. So people have been, even so educated people, tell me where on earth somebody will tell you to fast until you die, and you are believe him.
And talking about that instruction, we still have a controversial priest of the Catholic Church, Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka, who prophesied earlier this month that there will be an abundance, that the followers should get ready to receive abundance, instead of the normal prophecy of challenges and doom and all those things. So he had a prophecy that is a time for abundance. So what do you have to say on
You
that?
see, you know, all this prophet, there is difference between declaration, prophecy,
All right.
and prediction. For me, it could be that he's declaring upon his followers, you will receive this.
All
And
right.
people now mistook it as a prophecy.
Okay, we will continue on that. But for now, this is all we can have for this month. Thank you, CMC, for being here. We hope to have you in the next updates come next
It's
month.
my pleasure. It's
Thank
my
you.
pleasure having me here.
All
Thank you
right,
so much.
viewers, this is the much we can take in this month's updates. Still to come next month, we hope that you stay tuned and enjoy our updates as it comes in the month of May. I still remain Juliet Onwumere. Bye for now.